It's grinder comparison round 2, and in this video we will mainly be focusing on pour over, and I will be making a pour over out of each grinder here, and in the end of the video I will let you know which pour over that I end up preferring. Hi everyone, welcome back to George Explorers Coffee. As some of you might remember, in one of my previous videos I did a comparison between these three grinders here, how they all perform for espresso, and I did mention in one of my comments that some of you guys had requested a pour over video, and as promised, this is the pour over video where I will be looking at how these three grinders here perform for pour over. They all can do a pretty good pour over, it's not that. But they are mainly, at least these two here are mainly espresso grinders. But they can do a pretty decent job depending on what type of bean it is, processing method, and all these things. The Lagom Casa here is probably my preferred one, looking at how these three perform for pour over. So looking at the Kafatek MC6, this one has 71 millimeter pancake burrs. They are the shuriken burrs from Dennis at Kafatek. They are absolutely amazing for espresso. They give you a very balanced espresso, very sweet, very it's very forgiving burr set in that regard, that no matter how you brew it, no matter if you have, let's say you are a bit finer than you want to be or a bit coarser, it's still going to give you a pretty tasty cup. But of course, if you dial it into perfection, it's going to give you an absolutely amazing espresso. This one I prefer for light roasted espresso beans at around 1:3 ratio, 1:4 ratio, light to ultralight even. It's pretty amazing at that. We have the Weber Workshops Key. This grinder, I've had it for probably a little bit over 2 years now. This one was actually my main espresso grinder a while back. I brewed light roasted espresso beans, medium to light in it, and I absolutely enjoyed the espresso coming out of it until I got this bad boy right here. But I will say my experience looking at these two here side by side is that while this one shines for like light roasted beans, ultralight at 1:3, 1:4 ratio, this one really shines at medium to dark roasted beans. At least that has been my experience. Like ristretto style at 1:1 ratio. I feel that this one does an incredible job, giving you very like creamy shots, very balanced, very sweet. Definitely more body than this one here, but also probably more sweetness in here. But yeah, I guess it's up for debate. Then we have the Lagom Casa. This one has been my go-to pour-over grinder for a little bit over a month now. I have it actually at my parents' house, so whenever I visit them, I can make a delicious pour-over over there. Maybe not as clear, as crisp, as punchy acidity as my EG1 grinder standing right here, but definitely a very nice pour over grinder. A few things to mention about the Casa here. So this one has 65, this is the one with the 65 millimeter burrs from Optional. I believe they're called the CL burrs, I'm not fully sure, but these are basically burrs that you can make a very tasty espresso with and a very tasty pour over with. So they work in the both end of the spectrum. And that's kind of what makes it unique in that way. These two are mainly they're mainly marketed as espresso grinders. This one is more of an all-rounder. So this one does not sit in one camp. It basically works in both ends of the spectrum. The coffee I will be using in this video is this coffee right here, from La Victoria, Huela, Colombia, roasted by H&S. It's a very sweet coffee, and I think it'll be excellent in this video because it has notes of Rainier cherries, plum, and sugarcane. So it's a very it gives you a very like a very sweet coffee, very balanced. Has some minor acidity in there, but mainly sweetness is in focus here for this coffee. So what I will be doing here is I'm gonna grind a dose here. I'm gonna do around probably around 8 grams, and I will be using my Deep 27 brewer here. I really enjoy this brewer. It's very fast. You can really make really nice brews under just a little bit under 2 minutes, and I really like it for small doses, and it's perfect when you don't want to get too caffeinated, even though I'm a bit caffeinated right now. But anyway, I'm gonna grind a dose here of 8 grams each, and I will show you how it works. I did RDT a bit here because I do find that even though this one has a built-in ionizer, if you don't RDT, it will get a little messy with all this chaff flying over. It's not the messiest grinder, but it's a bit messy. So let's do the Weber key. Sometimes when you do RDT, beans can get stuck around the rim here. So yeah, just something to be mindful of, I guess. Let's do the Kafatek MC6. Here we go. All right, so I will make a pour over here and I will be right back. And when you guys see me, I will be doing a blind test with all of these. I had my brother, who is behind the camera, to kind of switch them around and put a marking on which one is which. So let's just look at the bag again here. It says plum, Rainier cherry, and sugarcane. So definitely some plum and cherries in the aroma. Same here. Maybe a bit more of a darker plum in this one. But yeah, let's start with the first one. Oh, wow, it's very sweet cup. Very nice, like a plum finish in the... Start off with like some Rainier cherries in the beginning and then plum. Let's do this. Similar aroma. That's interesting. I'm getting more Rainier cherries here. So I love Rainier cherries personally, and this one really reminds me of like biting into a ripe Rainier cherry. You know, you get that sweetness, that acidity. But yeah, this one is definitely softer. I really enjoy this one. There's barely any acidity in here though, which is a bit of a shame because I do like acidity in my coffee. This cup has a bit more body than all of these, just overall. It is also very like, it's a sweeter cup. I think more people in general would like this cup probably a bit more. If you're someone that doesn't like acidity in your coffee, this one would probably be it for you. I think this one is just sweetness. It has some cherry, like hints of cherries here. This one was very like had a little bit of like more plum here, like a ripe plum. This one is more like a dried plum in a way. So think of a dried plum, right? They're very sweet. Like usually you get like, they have this sort of a dark fruit sweetness. All right, so which one do I prefer? It is very tough. I would say that looking at these 3 cups here, all of them are delicious. I would say this cup here is probably the most juicy one of them all. This one is probably the most tea-like. Definitely the sweeter one of them all. But you also get that very nice Rainier cherry note. It's presented in a lovely way here. It just brought me back to when I was in San Francisco last year and just eating a lot of Rainier cherries, this cup here. This one is probably the most yeah, this one has probably the most like body, and It's arguable which one of these has the more sweetness. I would say they are extremely similar in terms of sweetness, these two cups here. When it comes to tea-like cups, and I do love my tea-like cups, I would say this one has an edge. When it comes to like acidity level, I would say probably the first cup. Yeah, because this one has a little bit of everything in there, right? It has like a lot of acidity, it has a lot of complexity, juicy. It has body as well, but definitely not as much body as this cup here. And this one has probably the least amount of body, right? So I would probably, when it comes to body, I would probably say this one is the first one, this one is probably the second one, and this one is the third one. Yeah, super sweet cup here, like it's insanely sweet, this one. So this one would probably win most days, but this one is also like a very nice cup, so I'm torn which one I would choose between these two, to be completely honest. This one is nice, but it's a bit boring in a way. I mean, maybe boring is not the right word. This one is very like in the middle of them all. Which one do I prefer here? Let me just have a little sip again here. Yeah, nice, juicy, complex, but also very clear, this cup here. Like you get the notes here, I feel. Like they are presented in a complex way, juicy cups, but you also get the Rainier cherry, the plum, and the sugar cane. This one gives you the sweetest cup of them all, while really emphasizing the Rainier cherry note in here. It's very like mouth-watering in a way, this one here. And this one is like, I would say this one is like in the middle of these two. It doesn't want to go to this camp or this camp. It just wants to give you like a very like mellow presentation of the coffee. It's a sweet cup of coffee. So which one would I choose here? I would say most days I would probably go with this one here because it's just such a nice presentation. I'm guessing this one is the Lagom Casa. Okay. Okay, it's Kafatek, right? Okay, that's interesting. Kafatek MC6. Okay, I'm a bit surprised by that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, you should see that it says K. All right, so then I'm gonna guess that this one is the Casa and this one is the Key. Yes, it says C. So this one is the Casa here, and this one is the Weber Key. This one was an interesting comparison. I'm still a bit stunned actually that the Kafatek MC6 was the one that really brought out that defined Rainier cherry note. I have to say I thought that this one was the Kafatek MC6 and that this one was the Lagom Casa. I kind of had a feeling that this one was the Weber Key because I'm very familiar with this profile. It's very like balanced, very mellow. Some people might say a bit boring in that it doesn't like it doesn't give you much of either, right? It gives you just the right amount of acidity, just the right amount of body and sweetness. So it's very like balanced. But I'm very surprised that this one that I thought was the Lagom Casa was the Kafatek MC6. So what have we learned today? Well, we've kind of learned that it doesn't really matter that much in a way that if you spend $2,600 on a grinder and if you spend $500, it's not going to automatically give you a better cup of coffee. But it's most importantly, it's extremely subjective, right? I mean, I chose these coffees, I chose the cups that I liked based on my preference. You might prefer a different cup here. So it's very like, very much depends on your taste preference, right? And it's not a question of, is this one much better than this one and vice versa. It's more like they all bring out different aspects, different attributes of the coffee. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more videos, and most importantly, let me know if you have a Kafatek MC6 or a Lagom Casa or a Weber Key. And if you've made pour over, and let me know how your results have been, and which one, like if you have a Weber key, like how do you make pour over with it? How do you like the pour over? Same goes if you have a Casa or MC6. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Wish you all a good day.